Guys, thanks for coming out. I realize that a lot of you guys made it a long way to come down here. A lot of you guys took flights. A lot of you guys traveled down. We appreciate it. Thanks for supporting Joe. When I talk about these events, guys, the biggest thing I talk about is it doesn't matter like where the event is. It doesn't matter who's throwing the event. It doesn't matter the food. What really matters are the two guys sitting next to you, the people at the table across from you, the connections that you guys make at these events. This is what the event's all about. The amount of emails and DMs I get from people that say like, man, I went to your last event in Dallas and I got linked up with, I'll use a roofer as an example because everybody knows I love roofers. I got linked up with a roofer and now I've got all this business. So I encourage you guys, take a few minutes and just, if you haven't already, make sure you try and introduce yourself to 10 guys before you take off because you're never going to know like where these guys are going to be able to come back and help you. On top of that, though, I'm pretty laid back. Just going to field some questions. Anything that you guys want to know, anything that you want to ask me, anything that maybe I can help shed light on. If you guys got any questions, fire them at me while Joe's doing his thing, getting things taken care of, and I'll try and answer any questions.
Any quick tips for getting more views on YouTube? Any YouTube tips that you can give?
All right, so the question is, any tips on YouTube? Yes, there's a game to it. The biggest thing on YouTube, guys, is it is the second largest search engine. So I want you guys to view YouTube as Google for people that don't want to read. It's literally Google for video. If you guys are not on YouTube with your business, you are missing a major, major, major part. How many of you guys follow me and know like I'm just doing a Walmart job and I was like cranking out dumpsters, just cranking. That lead for Walmart, for the national Walmart, that came off my YouTube channel. Those guys came to me because of the YouTube channel. They saw the concrete dumpsters. They reached out to me and said, oh, can you do this? Can you do 100 dumpsters this week? I'm like, yeah, I can make it happen. So if you guys are on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube. This industry, guys, cannot be run by 3 or 4 guys running YouTube channels. I've been on this for about 8 months now, and I've been telling you guys, more guys need to share their story on YouTube in this space. Because right now, the whole industry is learning from a handful of guys running channels. It just really is, and it's not sustainable for everybody. Because if you watch my channel and you don't like what I have to say, all right, there's 25% of it gone. If you watch Josh's channel and you don't think he's relevant, okay, there's half of it gone. Guys, get on it, put yourself out there, okay? Sometimes it's the first thing that your customers see. That is forward facing. You might think it's your truck, you might think it's your dumpster. It's more than likely, it's your Facebook, your Instagram, your website, or your YouTube channel. That's the first thing. Your customer's going to determine everything about you and how you do business on what they see first. Pick your lane, pick your story, figure out what you're going to do. People go to YouTube for 2 reasons. Entertainment, education, that's it. Are you going to entertain? And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's just not me. I'm not very entertaining. Or you're going to do something educational that guys come back to your channel. And they're going to want to watch something because you told them something. Hey, try this. It worked well for me. They go out, they try it, they put money in their pocket, and they're like, okay, I'm going back because this guy had good advice. And I'll be the first to tell you, my advice doesn't hit on every market. I talk a lot about frozen dumpsters. You guys down here don't, it has 0 value to you because you guys don't have frozen dumpsters, but we deal with it all the time. So the biggest thing on YouTube is be consistent, put out quality content, because if your content misses one time, and this is the way it works, you see this all the time with channels. If you put something out on YouTube and it's high quality and people start following you or looking at you, and then you put out shit content the next time, they're not going to come back. You're better to not post than to just post and put out something that didn't hit. That's my biggest advice on it. So we try and be consistent, post every week, but sometimes I'm just not feeling it. Sometimes Casey struggled through the edit process and he goes, this is trash. You're terrible. You should delete your channel. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But it is the way that it works. Get on YouTube. Put your story out there. You don't have to have views and likes. It really doesn't matter. Put it out there. Get used to it. Because the other thing too, guys, when you're creating on YouTube, you're going to find yourself driving in your truck, and you're going to find yourself thinking about the next video. You're going to think about where the pain point in the industry is. You're going to try and solve a problem and share it with other people. I don't daydream about fishing and stuff like that. I daydream like, okay, this is a problem in the industry. How am I going to fix it? And then I make a video about it. I put it out there, and hopefully other people benefit from it. Great question, though. That's my take on YouTube. All right, what else we got? Anybody else got questions? Don't be shy. How often am I grinding out videos? When I started, I was doing a podcast a week and a video a week. And I think in the beginning that was very important because it dropped almost like a TV show. So people knew, oh, Monday night at 6 o'clock, same day's going to have a new video out. And I think that helped in the beginning. The problem that it came into is Casey's schedule is very chaotic. And I know I don't feel I can run my channel without Casey because that's what people are used to seeing. I'm not saying you guys have to have that level of production. I just don't think people are going to watch me holding a phone, unedited, repeat myself 6 times, and I just don't make any sense. People have gotten used to a certain quality on my channel. With Casey's schedule and with my schedule, there's just sometimes we can't. Sometimes we shoot 3 a week, and then we try and like drop them, and we try and filter them. I try and drop new content. I try to make it no more than 10 days. If you guys watch my channel on a regular, you know, sometimes I go 3 weeks and people are like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? I haven't seen any content. It takes a lot. It's a big production. It takes a lot to get them on there. But I would just tell you guys in the beginning, if you're thinking about it, just create something, put it out there. Just be transparent, be honest about it, and I think you'd really be surprised who will like start watching it, start following it. And guys, the other thing too, how many of you guys know Julian at Heritage in Riverside? Do you guys know Julian in Heritage in Riverside? Go follow him on his YouTube channel. He runs dumpsters in Riverside, California. He just started his YouTube channel, and he's pretty awesome. And I can say this because he just spent the last 3 days with me in Salt Lake, and I just told him, keep filming, keep creating, just keep going, it'll get easier, it'll get better. It's just like you guys dropping your first dumpster. You're nervous, the homeowner's watching, you ran over her flowers, you hit a sprinkler, you're like, my God, this is terrible. What else can go wrong? You know, by your 100th drop, you're pretty good. You're like, yeah, man, I got this. Go sit on the porch, I got it. And you're smoother. It's the same thing with YouTube. You'll get better. Don't delete the awkward ones. Re-watch your videos. And when you find you're stuttering, like, you'll get better on it. But guys, there's business to get if you're on YouTube. Homeowners are on there looking at stuff. They're on there they're just typing in the word dumpster. And we all pop up. So they're on there, but if you're not on there, it's a free platform. If you're willing to play on Google ads or Facebook ads, go to the path of least resistance. It's going to give you better returns, and that's YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything to be on there. It doesn't cost you anything to post your video, anything like that. It is a great, great, great tool that as an industry, I'm telling you, we are not using enough. More guys need to get on there. More guys need to share their stories. I mean, I watch it. I spend, probably an hour each night doing my homework, looking and seeing who's on there, seeing what information, trying to learn something. All I need is one thing that I can pick up off someone's channel, and I can spin it, and I can use it in my own way, and I'm like, that is a great idea. It just takes one idea, and it'll change how your business is. Great question. What else? What else you guys want to know? What else you want to talk about?
All right, we got one for you, Scott. Dad wants to know, and I agree, your wash bay.
Okay.
You always roll out beautiful trucks. How much are you washing? Well, how are you keeping up with it?
All right, so this started with, I'm kind of a clean freak. I do like clean equipment, and it kind of comes back to the time of, if you guys don't know my backstory, I was in trucking for 25 years, had a big fleet of trucks, and a clean truck is a safe truck. I mean, that's just how we ran it. And DOT just basically, if you can afford to wash your truck, you can probably afford to keep up on the maintenance. So I've always kept clean trucks. The way I do my wash bay is I have a wash bay that's about 2 miles from my yard, but it's exactly halfway point between my transfer station. So when I drop in a transfer station and I'm heading back to my yard, I passed this wash bay. And I just went in there and made a deal with the guy. I mean, it's pretty simple. I'll tell you what it is. I pay him $500. He gives me his own car wash code, and he loads $900 on there for me. So I support him. He supports me, and I wash every can. My truck gets washed every time. For you guys that are like, it's just a dumpster, it doesn't matter. We're not even on the same level. Because my customers, it matters. My customers don't want a dirty diaper stuck to the back door. They don't want to open up the dumpster and sour milk run all over their feet. They're going in their house. Now they're tracking someone else's dirt into their house. People are weird about that stuff. I'm weird about it. You drop them a clean dumpster, they may not remember your name. Well, until you give them some Girl Scout cookies, then they'll remember your name. You drop them a clean dumpster, they respect your dumpster more. I know this sounds weird. You're less likely to get an overloaded dumpster on a clean dumpster. I don't care what you guys think. I've seen it too many times. You pull up with a clean truck, a clean dumpster, you're well-groomed, you're well-spoken, these guys will listen to you. I have overloaded dumpsters like everybody else, but I don't think I get them like the majority of guys. I'm very clear about it. I don't do it. So I wash the dumpsters. I wash every dumpster before I set it back in the yard. Okay. I never have time to grab a can, wash it, and deliver it. So my policy is I deliver it to the transfer station, I empty it, and then I wash it and I set it back in the yard. If I'm going to another customer, I just go wash it and take it to the customer. I do not deliver a can under any circumstance that hasn't been washed out. It's just a decision that I made, and I'm kind of the school, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And for me, it's about discipline. And if I cheat one can, then I cheat two cans. Next thing I know, I'm cheating on my advertising budget. Maybe I'm cheating on my marketing. Next thing I'm just, I'll get to that one tomorrow. And I just don't want to run my show that way. I want to keep it high level all the time. I want to stay really disciplined. That's why I wash my cans.
I got a spin on that, and it goes kind of in line with the image, and you're all about marketing and keeping your color combo, the stripe across the back of your can, all that. You have a racing stripe on a can. What's the start of that?
So the racing stripe really kind of just came from I wanted to market my cans differently. I wanted to be able to look from a distance and be like, yeah, that's one of my cans. When I started, nobody in Salt Lake had orange cans. And now have 24 guys with orange cans, and 3 of them run for me. Alpine and Sasquatch. That's my own doing, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm moving away from the white stripe though, because the white stripe takes me, it takes 2 days longer for me to prep that can. And if I have 10 cans in, that's 20 days. I need that can out working. So a lot of you guys have seen it. I've changed. I'm now painting my tailgates blue. I can still see them from a distance, but I can actually paint those in 2 different booths at the same time, and I can put that can out in 24 hours. So for me, it is about being efficient, but I'm still trying to, I want to be unique. I want to be different. The white is nice. I like it. It just takes too long to prep a can and shoot it. Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
I say it looked good.
I appreciate it. Great question. Oh shit.
Is painted blue, is it actually worth coloring it a different color to stand out and get more business like that?
100%. If you go to my Instagram, I posted that skid steer one time when it was getting painted. I think it has 3 million views today. Now, it's not just about views though, but what it is about is it's about people are like, that same day. People recognize it as part of my brand. Is it expensive? Yeah. Is it worth it? It depends on where you're trying to take your brand. I want to take my brand so that when people see my Peterbilt or my color blue or my orange, they know like, oh, that's same day. Same day's coming on the job site. I know they're going to be on time. I know they're going to be taken care of. More of my collaborations come from people coming to me than me going to them. My collaborations come to me where people are like, hey, let's work together. What can we do? Like, where's there an opportunity for us to do something with you? And that's where I want to be. I want to be where my phone rings and it's not, hey, I hit a fire hydrant. I want to be like, hey, I love your brand. Where's there an opportunity to work together and make something possible? And you can't do all those that come up because a lot of guys still just want stuff for free and they just want you to do all the heavy lifting. But I want to get 2 or 3 phone calls a day or emails or DMs of people saying, hey, I love what you're doing for the industry. I love the brand. I love the discipline. what can we do to work together? That's why I like it. The other reason too, guys, and this might sound funny, is like cans get stolen all the time, stuff gets stolen all the time. You gotta be pretty stupid to steal a same-day can. My can or my skid steer or anything, because everybody knows who it is. If you saw my same-day can, where do you live?
Central Florida.
All right, you live in Central Florida, and you saw a same-day can run down the freeway. I promise you, take a picture or message me and be like, yo, what are you doing in Florida? And I'm like, I'm not, but I've been missing that can for a week. Thank you. Where'd you see it? I try and accomplish a couple different things with it. At the end of the day, skid steers are cool, and painting it a cool color is just, it's kind of cool. You what?
Branding.
It is. And if you're still listening to guys on Facebook or anything that just says it's just a dumpster, you need to block that noise out. That is the problem of you making $50 a can or you making $800 a can. I know there's a lot of steps in between there, but it really does start. If you view it as just a dumpster, so does your customer, so does the contractor with a first-year operator, with a powerful excavator that's going to eat up your can in 30 minutes. The more forward-facing and professional that you put your brand, the more respect you're going to get from the homeowner, the company. We've got this going on in Salt Lake. We're custom painting dumpsters for custom home builders. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to tap a market that nobody else has tapped. Corey with Alpine is doing this. I started doing this. And basically what we do is we go to a custom home builder that's building, you know, $5, $6, $7, $8 million house. Believe it or not, there's a lot of those going on. I don't know where these guys are getting their money, but that's not the point. The point is, if that custom home builder can have a brand new can painted with his colors and his name versus the cheapest can, because I'll tell you what I do. If I go up to a job site and it's a custom home job site and it's a terrible can, I go put the doubt in the contract. I'm like, so you guys picked the cheapest dumpster. So where else are they cheating on this job site? You got the worst can in the city, so are they cheating on concrete? Are they cheating on backfill? Are they cheating on electrical, drywall? Where are they cheating? Because they're obviously cheating on dumpsters. All you got to do is get that doubt in their mind one time, and a contractor will see the value in what you do. And then you hit them with like, look, let's work a deal. How many dumpsters you take a month? Oh, I take this. Let me custom paint some dumpsters for you. I'll run them for you. I'll service it for you. Now here's your billboard. And this is working good. And how many of you guys are working with like Paul Davis, disaster cleanup? Hit Paul Davis up.
I've been working with them for years.
Wrap a dumpster that says Paul Davis, drop it on their doorstep. Don't even say anything. Custom paint a dumpster and drop it there. Hey guys, let's do some business. I'm going to help market you and stuff. I think in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see a huge push on guys like us that have dumpsters that are going to custom paint them customers' colors, and we service them. It makes it harder for that customer to get rid of you, but two, it keeps us on our toes. If I don't do my job, I deserve to get fired, and I deserve to eat a $5,000 paint job, and now I got to repaint it. That's 10 grand because I didn't do my job. It keeps you in check, keeps you honest. But if you're giving them the same service, same price, maybe even a little bit better service, maybe even a little bit more money, these guys will rent from you. And how do you find them? Find the guys with the coolest looking pickups in your city. That's your contractor that you want to paint a dumpster for. Because all he has is his pickup. Everything else he either rents or he's got on job site. Drop him a custom painted dumpster and see how it works out for you. That's a great way if you want to start to elevate that, get into that a little bit. But again, it comes back to branding, guys. Everything is about branding. And I view it that way. I don't view it as dumpsters. I just view it as like, hey, this is the industry that I'm in. It doesn't matter if it's dumpsters or if it's barbershop. I want to be the very best in that space. And I want to understand the psychology of the buyer and kind of do things that way. Great question.
Do you think it's worth going as far as painting, or would it be co-branding a wrap?
I wouldn't wrap, but my wrap issues are different than your wrap. My wrap issues are the first time it freezes, that wrap cracks and folds and looks like shit. So we just don't do a lot of wraps in Salt Lake. So you're kind of forced to paint, but it has a little bit more consequence because if I custom paint a Paul Davis dumpster and it costs me $6 grand to custom paint it, and Paul Davis like, no, we don't rent dumpsters, have a nice day. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll paint it for someone else. I prefer paint, but I have access to a painter, to a sandblaster. It's what I have access to that I can duplicate. I was talking with somebody, it was a firefighter over here. I was talking to somebody earlier and we were talking about paint. And I said, my ability to duplicate it over and over again, like for my trucks, my skid steer, my dumpster, it's not just the same company. There's one kid that's painted it. That company puts the same painter back on my projects. So if you drive through my yard, everything just is so exact because I have the ability. If I didn't have that, I'd probably be wrapping or doing something different like that. You just have to work with what you can duplicate over and over and over and over again in your market. And every market's different. Like California, they can't sandblast and paint for nothing. They can't get around the laws to do it. So they just run shitty looking dumpsters. Good question though. Anyone else? Okay, so questions asked my secure dumpster. So this is a brand new project for me. I'm going to tell you how it kind of came to be and kind of tell you how like I find ways to create value. One of the largest commercial builders in the United States is based in Salt Lake. It's called Layton Construction. How many of you guys know Layton Construction? They build universities, they build hotels, they build hospitals, they build all sorts of stuff. In the fall, they have a project going in Salt Lake City at one of the airport or one of the hospitals. An AirMed helicopter came down, kicked up the wind at the hospital and the construction, and it pulled debris out of the dumpster and actually made the helicopter crash. Doesn't make the news, nobody hears about it. Overnight, these guys just said, no more dumpsters that aren't hardtop. So I get a call, I'm looking for a hardtop dumper, and I'm like, oh, I can cover it. He's like, no covers. I'm like, I can cover it plastic. He's like, no covers. He's like, it has to be metal. So I was like, all right, I got to figure out a metal. So I work with the guys up at MAXCO. They do great. I'm sure Evolution can do the same thing for you guys down here. And I said, I need a hardtop dumpster. So I built a dumpster and I branded it same day secure. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put these dumpsters out for these guys that need hardtops. But now I've gotten into a market of people that they don't want a lot of scrappers digging through their dumpsters. So this dumpster you can lock. You can lock the back doors and you can lock the lid. Nobody can get into that dumpster. I just use a cat lock and I give the customer a cat key because if they lose the key, I can just run down a cat and buy another one. But your average scrapper dumpster diver doesn't have a cat key on them. So that's why I use it. But I'm finding that there's a pretty good call for them now that I've got them. Guys are starting to ask about them. I charge a premium for them. I like them because they can't overload them because it's got the lid on it. The downside to it is it's a fat girl. It's heavy. It's not something you're going to go stack 14 ton in. That dumpster's heavy by nature, and then you put a lid on it, and it's even that much heavier. But I'm kind of in uncharted territory where just a lot of guys aren't running them. A lot of guys don't know about them, but I'm trying to educate my clients more. And I've even had a couple homeowners that are just like, yeah, I just don't want my neighbors in my stuff. Yeah, for an extra $200, you can have this. Great, send it. If you find one used and it works for you, consider grabbing it, scooping it up, and just put it in the corner of the yard. It only takes one job, one contact, one phone call, and you're off. I'm not saying I need 60 of these in my fleet, but I'll have a half dozen of them or so to kind of take care of the guys at the hospital, the airport, different things like that. I'm still pretty new on it, but there seems to be pretty good demand for it. Yes, sir.
Any word on with the checkout thing on your website?
So I get asked about this a lot. If you guys go to my website, everybody wants to buy the cart. Let's just face it. Everybody here has a website guy. I've got a relative. I got a cousin. I got a nephew that builds a website. The problem with the cart is a custom built cart that's run on a custom server. If we take that cart and sell it to somebody that's on GoDaddy or Wix, not that there's anything wrong with it, but that server won't run that cart. It'll air out that cart. So what we're trying to figure out now is how can we sell the cart to anyone that wants it, but it still perform on a GoDaddy site or a Square site or a Wix site. Because the thing about my website guys are, the guys that built my site, the guys that host my site, the guys that develop my site, everything is on a custom server for them. So to move it and start breaking pieces out and doing it, it just airs out. So we're trying to figure out how do we take that so that we can sell the cart off to people. I'm probably talking lingo I don't know, but in the most simple terms, that's how it's been explained to me. So for right now, the cart is not for sale. The only way you can get the cart is if these guys custom build you out a website. I don't even want to guess, they're probably 6, 8, 9 months out right now, based on guys that signed up on Black Friday that are still waiting for carts. Not my shiniest moment, but it is what it is. But we're trying to figure it out. Once we figure it out, we can figure out how to sell it and let guys code that in, drop that code into their website, and it perform properly, then we're going to sell it.
Maybe break down the cart a little for some that may have not seen your channel. What they can do on the cart, they're adding you can upgrade to the rollies, get
So on my website, guys, a little history lesson. I don't run my business like a dumpster business. I know this is going to sound really funny. I try and run my business like Amazon. And when somebody places an order online, we give them the option of, how many of you guys seen it? You want it by tomorrow? Buy it in the next 4 hours and 15 minutes and get it tomorrow. We have all that on my site. You can buy with Apple Pay. You can literally buy with just hold your phone up to your face. We get all that in. There's a lot of custom stuff in there. We put add-ons in there and stuff like that. But I view my website, guys, as I'm just an e-commerce business. And I think this is one thing that gives me the edge in my market. What was the last thing you bought online?
Fishing stuff.
When?
This morning.
What time?
In the morning. Like 7, 8.
Okay. Would you have waited for the fishing place to open to call and ask them their price?
No.
Okay. What's the last thing you guys, couple back there, what's the last thing you bought online? When? What time? Nighttime. 75, now keep in mind, guys, I will not take any order over the phone. And I'm going to give you the simplest workaround. Somebody calls me, okay, this sounds great. I want to order a dumpster. I'm like, okay, do me a favor though. I'm driving. I want you to go online. I don't want to get any details wrong. Place your order online. I don't care if they've ordered one dumpster or they ordered 100 from me. And here's why it's important with like Walmart. You run 100 dumpsters for somebody in 5 days. All of a sudden the superintendent's like, okay, I got you down for 92. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. We ran 100. Well, I got you for 92. Now it becomes an issue. If they have to go online, guess what? There's no confusion. Make them go online. 75% of my total orders, so that's total dumpsters that I run, come in after 8 p.m. and before 6 a.m. I want you to think about that. I buy shit all the time in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., and I'm buying like, oh, that's cool. Like, what's that? We all do it. If you have a website that's good enough and answers questions and makes the customer feel comfortable putting in their credit card number, these guys will order from you all night. If your website is limited and you don't have it, guys, I think the last 2 podcasts or 3 videos I've done have all talked about at some point, do I put my prices on the website? This is not open for discussion for me. I'm 100%, you put your price on. It's 2024. Nobody is going to call Delta Airlines to ask how much a ticket is from Salt Lake City to Tampa. It's online, it's forward-facing, I can see it, I can buy it. They take Apple Pay, they take Venmo, they take Zelle, they take Bitcoin, whatever you want to pay with. You got to do it the same way. And until you start running your business that way, you're going to miss out. It's just I know there's a big group of guys in this industry, some of you might be here, you want to talk your client into it. I don't want to talk my client into it. I want my client to call and be like, hey, I'm on your website right now. If I order this right now, when will I get it? I want a customer that says, hey, I'm in zip code 84117. Can you put this can on the street? Because I've heard there's no street parking. Those are the calls I want. The call I hate, how much do you charge for a can? Have you been to my website? Nope. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send you my website. I don't care if it's my competitor. I don't care. Come on, let's face it, my website's probably had more hits and abandoned carts than anybody in the industry because everybody's in my website playing around. I'm not upset by it, but you can't be afraid to put your pricing out there. I don't think there's anybody, there might be 1 or 2, but I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't know what I charge, how my pricing model works. You have to put it out there. I'm not worried about my competition. I'm worried about Susie homeowner whose parents just passed away, or her and her 4 siblings can't sell this house fast enough. They want a dumpster. That's who I want to get to, and I want to get to them fast. And for me, it's online. A couple things about my cart that are really different. First, my website is lightning fast. How many of you guys have ever bought anything online and you watch the top bar at the top start doing redirects? And you're like, oh shit, I'm in India. No, escape. And you don't want to buy because you don't trust it. The faster your website, the more it trusts because people view it as like, okay, this is familiar to me. I go to Amazon, I pick a product, it spins me to a payment page. If I can duplicate that and make it look and feel the same as Amazon, Amazon did all the heavy lifting for me. It's 2024, I want to pay with my Apple Pay. I don't want to dig into my pocket pull out a credit card. I want to show my face to my phone, I want to double click, I want to get a dumpster delivered. These are all the things that our website does. I use roller skates, it's no secret, it's one of my upsells, I love it. I charge $39. People are like, I just use wood. Charge somebody $39. I'm just saying my market. You charge someone $39 and throw down wood, they're gonna look at you like, you just bamboozle me. I throw down something they've never seen before, and they're like, this is the coolest thing ever. Here comes a 5-star review. I get 2 people a week that book with me because I offer driveway surface protection that nobody else offered. They didn't even know it existed. So those are just some of the things that my website does do. I mean, there's a lot more we can talk about chargebacks when it comes to websites, because a lot of you guys want to store cards. Here's an interesting thing. I can store cards on my website. I don't. I do not store any credit card information.
Is that a PCI compliance issue or what?
Nope. So the reason I don't store cards at all is the customer has to opt into it. 90% of my clients don't ever think they're going to rent more than one dumpster in their life. So their thought process is, why do you need to store my credit card? I'm never going to order again. I feel it's more forward-facing and transparent in their purchasing, kind of their journey with me. Hey, I'm not asking to store, everybody else is. I'm not asking, just put your credit card in, I'll deliver you a dumpster. I bill after the fact as well. I don't want to go down a huge rabbit hole with you guys, but I charge up front and I charge behind. And when I charge behind, I still believe 99% of people in this country are good people. They're going to keep their word, they're going to pay their bill, and they're going to pay it when you ask them to pay it. I think guys get into trouble with storing cards because they had an issue with the client. They charge the card. Now here comes the chargeback. And if you guys get too many chargebacks, you're going to freeze your merchant account. There's a lot of ways to it. I know a lot of guys want to store cards. They want to hit cards. There's a lot of videos out right now about, like, I just dropped this in the landfill and I hit this guy for $1,200. That's cool. That's great. I want to have a conversation. Hey, here's your invoice. Here's your pictures. Here's what we agreed upon. I want you to pay it. Most of them will pay it. Occasionally somebody won't, but that's just how I prefer to do it. There are compliance issues, but my website doesn't have it. I can actually do it. I just choose not to. I just feel it's an easier journey for the customer. Great question, man. What else you guys got? What are you guys struggling with? Where's your pain points? What did you run across this week? You're just like, this sucks.
You what?
Traffic. All right, can't help you there. Yes, sir. I do. So currently I offer 3 add-ons. And the cancellation, I'll be honest, guys, I stole it from American Express. Like, if you want to know where I got this, I got it from American Express. American Express came out with a study in this last year, and they said 79% of people opted for cancellation insurance on trips, concert tickets, airline tickets, hotel. It didn't matter what they were buying. 79% of people on American Express opted for the cancellation insurance. I mean, it's 3 a.m. I think I'm deep into some ice cream and thinking, I'm like, okay, this is great. So I offer $49 cancellation insurance. What does that cost me to offer it? I have 0 cost basis. It is straight bottom line profit. It's $49 straight bottom line. But I love doing things in my business that if I offer something to someone and they decline it, it benefits me somewhere else. So here's how cancellation works for me. If they decline my cancellation insurance and then they want to ask for a refund back on my credit card, I can full on deny it because I have a policy that my merchant account is verified. So in theory, I can just not give them back because they didn't apply, they didn't purchase the cancellation insurance. For example, book a trip with Delta, your plans change and try and get your money back last minute. What are they going to tell you? Never going to happen. You, in theory, could do the same thing. I don't do that. So it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens twice a month. Somebody will book a dumpster, 2 hours later, here comes a phone call, I didn't mean to book it. Refund my card back. So what I do is I tell them, yep, I'm going to give you a full refund. I back off my $49 and I issue them money. And the reason that I do that is even though they didn't take my $49 option, I think I'm being pretty good to give them their money back, but I'm going to treat them as if they bought the $49 option. Guys, the cancellation insurance is bottom line. The other thing with cancellation insurance brings credibility to your business. Someone goes on my website, they're like, this guy's been here before. This guy knows what's up. He's offering this. I've never been offered this. Think about it like this, guys. This is what I want you to think about. This, for you guys that are really heavy contractors, I'm going to give you a pro tip to handle your contractors. Let's say I got a contractor and he's going to do a small water repair for the city. but he has to coordinate his permit, concrete cutting, concrete truck. He has to rent a machine. He's got to do 4 or 5 things, right? What if everybody allowed him to cancel for $50? For $500, he could actually be super efficient because he could put 10 guys on the books to do a city job. And if one guy didn't show up and he had to cancel the whole day, it cost him $500. Think about how reasonable that is. You could actually run a whole business and not own any equipment, and because you have that cancellation insurance in place, I charge $49, my average $500, it's just a good number. Right now, 3 in 10 guys choose for cancellation insurance. Okay, so for me right now, I pull about $150 a day. Bottom line, cancellation insurance. It may not seem like a lot, that meter keeps ticking, it keeps adding up. So that's one of my add-ons. The other add-on is rolly skates. I like that. And then my other one is, it's called fire and damage waiver. And I charge $29 to protect them for fire and damage if that dumpster catches fire or causes damage on their property. So I go 49, 39, 29. I would tell you between the 3 of those, 9 out of 10 dumpster rentals choose at least one. I would say 1 out of 10 just starts clicking all the boxes. And they load it up. They want everything. But you got to have a system that can display it. If I don't offer cancellation insurance, how many guys buy it from me? 0. You have to offer it if you want guys to buy it.
What's the fire and damage consist of?
So the fire and damage is pretty simple. I charge $29. If you deliver something and your truck catches on fire while you're delivering, is your insurance going to pay that? It is, right? So you're already responsible if anything happens because you're delivering, right? So what I'm using that $29 to pay myself back for my insurance policy for anyone that opts into it. So if the dumpster catches fire at their property after I delivered it, let's say I deliver on a Monday and on Tuesday my dumpster catches fire, is my insurance going to pay for that? No, because I delivered an empty dumpster, right? So clearly the fire was caused by the client, right? So who's going to pay for it? The client's insurance company, right? Now, if the client's insurance company wants to somehow try and get my insurance company involved and I end up paying for it, I'm still paying for it anyway. So the customer's really getting peace of mind on that fire and damage because I'm paying for it one way or another. I'm gonna pay. If something happens to their property while my dumpster's there, my insurance company's gonna pay anyway. So I'm gonna use that as an opportunity to get back. But the biggest thing about the fire and damage is peace of mind. The clients look at this and they just feel comfortable. He's figured out cancellation insurance, he's got driveway protection, he's offering fire protection. The clients like it. They choose fire protection more than they do anything. It might be the price, and it might be just how we present it and where we present it in the process, but right now, more people choose fire and damage protection than they do anything. But that's bottom line. What does it cost me? Nothing. How many of you guys would like to get a little bit of help paid back on your insurance from this year? I know I would. That's where I came up with it. So a little bit of help coming back. You're not. There's nothing funny about it. It's very straightforward. Someone's paying. The homeowner's paying, or I'm paying for it, just depending on where the damage occurred and how it happened. Yes, sir. How often do what? I don't think we want to talk about that. That's some bad juju you're bringing in here, man. I think if you do enough dumpster rentals, you're going to get one. I think if you're playing around with contractors that are doing fire burns or you're doing Paul Davis cleanups, you're probably going to increase your odds a little bit. Susie homeowner, I mean, her high heels and Tupperware they don't combust. They just don't. And this is also like asking your clients, what are you doing with the dumpster? If you guys aren't asking your customer, tell me about your project, what are you doing? You are missing so much of the game because you don't know what they're putting in it. You can't get them the right dumpster. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what conversation to have with them. You're just like, and the homeowner says, why does it matter? Oh yeah, wrong number. Have a nice day. It matters. It matters a lot. Because if your house just burned down and it's filled with foam, I got one place I can go to and they want a 30-day certificate saying that is sat and turned for 30 days before you bring it to our landfill. It matters to me a lot. I don't want to tie up a dumpster for 30 days because somebody doesn't want to answer my question. Your market might be different out here, but in Salt Lake, If there's anything that's fire and it's been foamed by the fire department, you can probably talk to this because you guys foam everything, don't you? You foam that stuff, one, it's heavy as shit. It is uber heavy. Two, I can't take it to anybody that I can't produce a document that said, I picked this up 30 days ago, this has been soaked, it's been sat here, it's done this. I don't want to tie up a dumpster that long. You know, I want to know what they're putting in the dumpster. I want to give them the right tool. I want to ask the right question. So make sure you're asking these guys, you know, real simple. You know, I'm sure most of you guys have a script. I mean, I'll just tell you what my script is. Phone rings, I'm like dumpster rentals. I don't get cute with my name. I don't say same day, I'm just like dumpster rentals. This is what you're calling, this is what you get. How much is a dumpster? I already know. Okay, someone has been. I ask them, what city are you in? I'm in Tampa. Oh, good people. I'm in Salt Lake City. But I know some people, let me refer you to some people. I want to know what city, tell me about your project, and what do you plan on putting in the dumpster? Those are two different questions. Tell me about your project, tell me what you plan on putting in my dumpster. Okay? Have you been to my website? Yep, I've been there. What size dumpster do you think work best for you? You know, I'm really not sure. I'm like, let me give you a recommendation. How many square feet house, what kind of clean out, blah, blah, blah. Become the expert. You have a 4-minute conversation, and I don't know about you guys, most of my residential are ladies. Husband's dragged his feet long enough, she's tired of it, she's renting a dumpster, he's gone to work. I don't care what you do, that dumpster needs to be here by 4:30.
What's Cody's motto?
Cody's?
Yeah. We'll finish what your husband did.
Yeah, we'll finish what your husband started or something like that. But it's knowing your audience, guys. It's knowing who they are and what they want. And ask the right question. The right question will set the tone with the homeowner that you care. How many of you guys are still dropping like blind dumpsters? What I mean by this, you don't care if the customer's there or not. I know you don't care. I know a lot of guys when they get really busy and they're slinging a lot of dumpsters, they don't require the customer to be there. Personally, besides talking to them and giving them a box of cookies and a tape measure and all this stuff, I'm developing a face-to-face rapport. That's the biggest thing that I'm paying for. I'm trying to make that connection. I don't want to give that connection away because I'm too busy. Nothing against how these guys run their business. I spend a lot of money to get face-to-face with this customer. I want to look them in the eye. I want to establish that relationship with them. I don't want to come back and move a dumpster not one time. Oh, you parked it too close to the street. Oh, my daughter's got to get her. I don't want to move a dumpster one time. You know, and if somebody says they're not home, I'm just like, we got to reschedule. Oh, I can be there in 15 minutes. Okay, I'll see you in 15 minutes. Otherwise, I'll reschedule you until the end of the day. Little things like this, guys, I think you can do that makes a big. Just remember, I posted something the other day, and I'm like, I'm on track to do 1.1 this year, 9 cents at a pound. I just have 50 guys. What do you mean? I'm like, you're not paying attention in class. You know, I talk about I charge 9 cents a pound, and it's kind of my motto. I'll teach you guys how to do it. I tell guys this. So when I post something like that, people, they don't understand, like, every market is different. Figure out your market, try and make those connections with your clients, because that, at the end of the day, is really where it is. I know that, how many guys here are not in the industry, but you're close, you're thinking about it? I know there's a couple. Chase, you're about to get started. The firefighter and his bride are about to get started. You're about to get started. You guys are about to get started? Okay. I think right now, and, you know, the old hats will look at me and be like, freaking YouTubers ruining stuff. Like, I wouldn't even let my son call me a YouTuber. I'm just like, that's not it, Cooper. Just sit down and do your work. I think the biggest bull run on dumpsters is still ahead of us. I do. I think that the best years are still coming. I think if you're in business right now, you have your truck, you have your trailer, you have your bins, you have a website, and you've got half of it even remotely figured out, I think you're about to go on a pretty good run. And this isn't trying to talk guys like getting into the business. You get in the business if you want to get in the business, but the work is out there. But guys, I'm going to compare this a little bit to kind of like what's going on in college sports. Bear with me on this. This NIL money that's going on in college sports, this is no longer freshmen playing freshmen. This is now freshmen playing against a kid that probably should have been in the NBA 3 years ago. The dumpster space is the same way. If you're going to run dumpsters like it's just a dumpster, that void has been filled. There's guys like me, there's guys like Joe, there's guys like Gabe, there's guys like Darko in every city, and they will eat your lunch. They will run circles around your little makeshift side shift business. And I don't mean that in a rude way. If you're gonna get in and be serious about it. The guys doing it just kind of bouncing around and halfway, there's enough guys doing it full time and doing it legitimately that Susie homeowner is going to find that guy really fast. The market has a lot of business in it, but it doesn't have the same business that it did 2 years ago, where people can be sloppy. You can be messy with your paperwork. You just, if you know, you know. It's Project 42. I talk about this all the time in the barbershop space, all the time. A simple name, a clean name. Don't make people think about what you do. This is not an industry, if you know, you know. This is not the industry to play in. Be bold with your name, be bold with your graphics, be bold with your brand. That's what people will remember. And if they don't remember that, they'll remember the Girl Scout cookies. I promise you that. Good question, though. What else you guys got?
What's the best advice you have for structuring your website and keeping it running better than others? Like, how do you start your website and keep it going? All hypothetical.
I'm 4 years in business. I'm on my 7th website. I burned that shit to the ground so fast. For you new guys. The old guys too, but the new guys. Your website is your entire business. It is how you're going to get judged, it's how you're going to get viewed, and it's how you're going to get clients. Your website has to have the wow factor. If a guy comes to your website and it's not getting it done, they're going to bounce. They're going to bounce, and they're going to go until they find a site that they feel comfortable with. You know, we call it the sales funnel. Your site's more important than your truck or your trailer at this point. And I mean that. Because if I got a good site, I can give my work away. I'm not even in Salt Lake. I gave away 16 dumpsters yesterday, and I think they're up to 12 today. My phone keeps going off. Those are all coming through my website that I'm feeding to guys in my circle that own different businesses. The website is everything. Your website is going to attract the type of client you want. We all know the difference between Google and Yelp. What's the difference between a Google client and this isn't a joke. What's the difference between a Google client and a Yelp client? Yelp's tough. You're more likely to get a 1-star review. You're more likely to get a chargeback. You're more likely to have a difficult client. Your website does the same thing. It's going to tell your clients this is how they do business. I have a lot of people that don't do business with me because they feel I'm too strict. Just go read all my YouTube channels. Go read all my early videos and all the guys that threw so much hate. It's like, I wouldn't rent a dumpster from you. You're crazy. Like, good. My website's doing its job. That's what I want it to do. Your website should convert 100% of like your customers. So if you're heavy in contractors, the goal is to get your website to keep you busy enough that it doesn't matter if you have all these relationships, because then you put those on top. Now how busy are you? Now you're really cooking, right? You gotta have a website that converts. It's 2024, you guys. If you don't have a website, you don't need Instagram, you don't need Facebook, you don't need a Google My Listing, you don't need any of that. If you don't have a website, just don't even bother with the rest of the stuff. Just go down to Home Depot and try and get it figured out. I believe that much on it. I'm not saying if you don't have Hypertech, I'm not saying that. There's good guys out there that build a lot of great sites, but your website, it is 100% forward facing. I think it's more important than the equipment you're running right now. It's just my 2 cents. Get a good site. It'll make all the difference in the world. Think about it. You know, everyone's got a number. You know, hey, I need 3 dumpsters. I got to set 3 a day to make money. I got to set 4 a day. Man, what if you're setting 15? Give that work away, because then you know, like, hey, I can scale up. I can get another truck. I can take on 40 more dumpsters. That's how you scale. You scale by giving that work to guys that you trust. Let them handle the work. And when you get it consistent enough, you're like, okay, I paid out $63,000 to other guys this month. I can take on another truck. I can scale. And it's not a gamble at that point, because you have months and months and months of that track record. Here's another thing, too, for you guys that are like thinking about giving work away. You get to cherry pick that work. You get to take that work and see those orders come in. If there's an order that comes in 2 blocks from me, you can bet I'm taking it. If I get an order that comes in that's 68 miles away, it's going to my boy that's further that way. He likes it because he doesn't have to travel as far. I like it. The customer likes it. And we just don't tell anybody no. Never told the customer no. We figure it out. All right, we just did this dumpster. I got 4 hours to figure it out. Start sending texts. I'm out of town. No, my wife's having a baby. Oh, dog, I'm at the bar. I'm like, man, I'm running out of options quick. I'm like, all right, I gotta find someone else. Don't tell your guys no. That's been key for me. Great question though on the website.